Hello everyone and welcome to this live broadcast. Today we'll be talking about how to get started in web design. Now for some of you, I know obviously this may be a beginner type level topic, but the things that I am going to cover here, I'm sure that you are going to definitely benefit from them. So what we'll be covering are three main areas. We're going to go through the services that are good to get you started off. We're also going to go through the skills and also some plugins that you need to definitely kickstart your web design career. And we're also going to talk about how to take your web design skills to actually maybe even turn it into a business. Right, so let's start off with domain registration. Now, as I'm going through this discussion or this broadcast, I'll be going through the things that I've messed up and how you can fix those. And also, I'll be talking about resources that you can use in order for you to boost your web design career. The main goal of this live broadcast is to give you information to help you, and because I really want you to succeed in web design. It's a passion of mine. I create a lot of tutorials on web design. If you haven't seen my YouTube channel, you can always take a look at that. Okay, so let's start off with domain registration. Now, when it comes to domain registration, there are hundreds of companies that advertise domain registration. So the question now is, if you're starting off, which one do you go with? So I would recommend using a service called hover.com because their interface is very easy to follow and their support is really good. Or you could also use GoDaddy. They've actually improved their dashboard. Before, it used to have a lot of add-ons, which made it very confusing if you're a beginner. But if you're a total beginner, I would say go with hover.com. Okay, let's move on to our second service, which is hosting. Now, when it comes to hosting, if you get this wrong, you're in big trouble. Now, I'll give you a quick story. Now, when I first started in web design, I set up my my few websites. That was fine because I used to learn how to do the hosting, play around in the cPanel. But the moment I decided to take it to the next level, which is when I started doing my freelance, this is when things changed, because I realized that if you choose a company that is not reliable, you are in big trouble, because you are going to spend most of your time trying to fix problem rather than design websites. So, I won't name the company which I started off with, but what I can do is to advise or just give you an idea of which company that I recommend now, and that is InMotion Hosting. Now, InMotion Hosting are really good, and one thing that really stands out for me is the fact that the team behind the support are familiar with WordPress, and it's a team of geeks. So if you go and ask them questions about WordPress, they'll be able to support you with that. Now, when it comes to other web hosting companies, you'll find that once your account is set up, you're on your own. You have to do all the research. You have to find out what is wrong with your website through tutorials and articles. So having a company which understands the product that you're working on is very, very important. So that's number one. The second thing is they also have very fast hard drives, and these are called SSDs. So these are very good because they make your website load faster, and this is key when it comes to SEO, because Google, if your website is slow, Google won't give you a lot of traffic. So this works as a positive. And also SSL. SSL is something that's coming to be very, very important when it comes to ranking. So having SSL as well is important. Now, some of these web hosting companies do charge for SSL, and it's quite difficult to set up. So by choosing InMotion Hosting, it's much easier for you to get all these services all under one umbrella. And also, as a bonus, I have an affiliate link that I'm promoting. If you buy your hosting through that link, you will get a 57% discount. And also, if you can prove to me that you've bought it from InMotion Hosting, I'm also willing to give you a starter pack, and the starter pack includes WordPress Mastery, which is my course on getting started with WordPress, and also my DIVI Blueprint 3 course, which pretty much covers everything that you need to know in DIVI. And DIVI is the page builder that I use. Okay, so let's move on to the third thing in the services, and this is WordPress. When it comes to WordPress, I mean, it's come a long way, and it's actually gone much better than how it was before, because before it used to be a blogging platform and that was pretty much it, but now it is much more advanced. If we take a look at companies that use WordPress, I mean, it's unbelievable. When I was looking at WordPress.org, I saw that BBC America actually uses WordPress, and celebrities also use WordPress, like Beyonce, and universities like Harvard University and all these type of academies also use WordPress. So it's a very solid platform, and I recommend that you use WordPress. And the good thing is, when you sign up with InMotion hosting, WordPress is installed by default. So you don't have to go through the process of setting up WordPress. So if you're a total beginner, this is ideal, because you don't want to go through the process of setting up WordPress if you really don't know the ins and outs of it. So once you sign up for your InMotion hosting package, you get an email which automatically gives you a list of how to access your website and how to access your admin panel together with your username and password. So that is really good. Okay, so let's move on to the skills you need. In fact, I'm just going to do a quick check to see if we have any questions. Okay, I'm just looking at the live chat, and we have Jonathan saying, "You rock." Thanks a lot for that. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next thing, which is, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, all these links that I'm talking about, which is access to my free course, the affiliate links and all that, can be found in the show notes below. So all the links that you need are all in the show notes. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, which is the skills that you need. Now, in order for you to really become successful in web design, you need to understand some basic skills. And let me just go through the list of them. First of all, photography. Now, when you take a look at really nice websites out there, like one I can think of on top of my head is Beats by Dre. Right, if you go to Beats by Dre, what you'll find is the photography is stunning, right? There's not a lot of text on it, but it's just the photography that really grabs your eye. So photography is very important when it comes to web design, because this is what people see when they come to your website. So what I would recommend is using even your smartphone, because in the right conditions, these smartphones can take amazing pictures. So I would recommend taking pictures outdoors, preferably on a cloudy day, because when the sun is too bright, again, it's not really good. But on a cloudy day, it's perfect. And also when the sun is setting, you get beautiful pictures that way. Or if you want to take it up the next level, you can actually use a DSLR camera or even a mirrorless camera. I use a Sony a6300. It's fantastic. So that's your area of photography. Now, there are websites which you can go to which sell these photos. They're called royalty-free websites. So one of the websites is called iStock Photo and Shutterstock. So you can actually go to these websites, buy your images that you need to use, and then you can just use them on your website. Now, I'm not really a fan of these websites, mainly because if you choose a really nice website, chances are someone else out there is using that image, because obviously this is a public website that people can buy. So if you want something unique, something that's different, taking your own pictures is the best way forward. Okay, so oh yeah, and also around the photography topic, you also need to understand basic things like the rule of thirds and also the golden ratio. It's very important that you take your pictures using those parameters, because they just make the composition of your images really good. Right, let's move on to the next thing, and this is graphic design. So when you take a look at graphic design, It seems like it's a huge topic, but really it's not. All you have to master is typography. I mean, how to use typography, layouts, how to lay out your website. And the beauty of these page builders like Divi, your layout is pretty much in place because they have the columns all set. But we'll talk a bit more about Divi towards the end. Now, the next thing around graphic design is color theory. The use of color is very, very important. Now, if you take a look at most of these very famous paintings, what you'll find striking is the composition and the use of color. So the same principle applies. If you use colors that don't work well together on your website, it just breaks the whole design of your website. So there are websites that I recommend to get your colors, or they're known as color harmonies. So there's color.adobe.com. It's a very good starting point to choose your colors. So making sure you choose colors that work well together is really, really important. So example are complementary colors. If you choose a palette which has complementary colors, you're guaranteed that you'll have a website that looks very, very professional. So do not neglect this area of color theory. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing, and this is mastering a page builder. Now, don't waste time trying to learn PHP, CSS, HTML. Of course, they are very good skills to learn, and they're the foundation of web design. But the problem is, if you want to create websites which are dynamic with a lot of features like membership sites, shopping carts, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to build these type of websites from the ground up, from scratch. This is why I'm really pushing for WordPress if you are a beginner and you want to get started in web design. So WordPress pretty much works as the foundation, and you can build everything on top of that. So you start off with the basic WordPress website, and then you can end up with a website that is an e-commerce website, a membership website, a directory, and so on. Okay, so back to mastering a page builder. Now, there's quite a few page builders out there, and to be honest, these page builders have made web design really, really exciting. I started off designing websites with Dreamweaver. It was a pain because you had to make sure that it looks perfect in different browsers. And if you're not very skilled in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you'd struggle. So with these page builders now, pretty much whatever you build is uniform throughout all browsers, pretty much, which is really good. Now, there's quite a few page builders out there, but the one that I recommend is Divi. Now, the reason why I love Divi is because it has a front-end editor. It's kind of like Photoshop, so you can actually see what you're designing as you're designing it. And this, to me, is a very, very important feature, because the way I work in my head is, if I'm designing it, I really want to see it, because I've used Photoshop for a very long time. And since they introduced this feature, I mean, I've just been stuck with Divi. And if you'd like to get started, as I mentioned before, I have discount codes in the show notes below. And also, if you want to get this course absolutely free, you can buy Divi through my affiliate link, and just let me know, and I can give you access to the course. Right, so so that's page builder. So you just need to master one page builder. That page builder will allow you to build any type of website layout, any type. And I'm saying this with confidence because I've built hundreds of websites. Any type of layout you can build with page builder. And if you'd like to see what you can do with these page builders, just go to my YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed, and see quite a few of my videos that I've already created on Divi. Okay, so let's move on to the next skill that you need, and this is filming. Now, I'm not talking about going to film school or producing blockbuster type movies, no. But one thing you may find is when you go to websites nowadays, they seem to start to have videos on them. So having videos and understanding how to film is very, very important. Now, you may be thinking, well, do I need expensive tools? Absolutely not. all you need is the camera that you have, which is your smartphone. That can take amazing pictures. In fact, if you look at a smartphone or even the latest Android, you can actually film in 4K, and that's amazing. So if you're starting to build websites for others, you may find that some of these companies may say, can you film a behind the scenes video or an about video? So having those skills to actually film using your DSLR camera or even your smartphone is really, really good. It just brings more value to just your web design skills, and you can charge more. So just learning how to do that is fantastic. So basic editing, framing of your videos as well is important, and also knowing what time of day to film is also very, very important. Okay, so let's move on to number 3, the plugins. When you start designing websites, there are definitely plugins that you need in your toolbox, and these are Contact Form 7. Now, when you start using WordPress out of the box, there is no way of having a form which people fill in to then contact you. So this is where plugins come in. So this is why I'm mentioning these ones, because these are quite important. So Contact Form 7 is very important because this is how it's very easy to set up as well. This is how people would actually fill in a form and get in touch with you. Now, if you're a bit more ambitious or you want to build more complicated forms, I would strongly recommend Gravity Forms, because Gravity Forms allows you to pretty much build any type of form. You can do application forms, you can do, I mean, I've just recently done a reservation form for a restaurant website that I'm building. Again, very, very easy to set up. So again, I'll link these in the show notes below. Right, I've got a comment here from LV. So the question is, can you dive also into child themes a bit in relation to Divi or page builders in general? Do you advise to buy one or not? Okay, fantastic. What I'll do, LV, is if I can go through that towards the end, that'll be, I mean, if you don't mind, I think that'll be great, because otherwise I'll lose my train of thought. Okay, so I will answer that question. Right, so I've spoken about Contact Form 7 and Gravity Forms. The next plugin that you need, and it doesn't matter which plugin you use, but having social media integration is very, very important, because when you start producing content on your website, ideally you want people to share it. So making it easy for people to share that content is ideal. And you can do this using social media integration plugins. Now, if you purchase Divi, Divi actually has a social media integration plugin, and this comes with your membership, so you don't have to pay extra. And it's a very, very good plugin as well. The next thing is list building. Now, list building is also very, very important, because when you collect emails, it makes it easier for you to market to those people in the future, or even notify them when you release new videos or new content. So again, they have a list building plugin when you buy or when you join Elegant Themes. So it just makes it easier for you to have everything under one umbrella. And these two plugins from Elegant Themes, they're very well built. So it would be ideal if you purchase the membership to just go ahead and use these two plugins, because there's no point in spending more money buying other plugins to do the same job which these same plugins can do. Okay, and the other important thing as well is, because the topic is how to get started in web design, you want to get a page builder that has a flexible license. So if you look at Divi, it's actually very simple. You can build as many websites as you want using their membership, and this just one membership. You can build so many websites. So you can take this a step further from just designing your own website to designing websites for others using the same license. I mean, think about it. You can design so many websites, charge for them, and all you'd have done is to just buy the one license, and you can build hundreds of websites. And this is what I did in my web design agency. Okay, so now it's time to answer the child theme question. Right, so let me just go through this one more time. Right, the question is, do you advise to build or buy one? So there are websites out there that sell these child themes. Now, it's a 50-50 situation. Now, if you're starting off, of course, you can use a child theme if you want to speed up your design. Let's say a client comes to you and says, right, I need this type of website. Instead of spending so much time designing that website from scratch, you can just look for a child theme that looks similar to, let's say it's a restaurant website, right? You can just look for a child theme that resembles what you need, buy that, and then just edit the content on that child theme, and boom, your website is done. Now, if you want to use Divi to build that type of website from scratch, it's absolutely possible. So if I were you, I would really learn how to use Divi myself rather than taking that shortcut. But if you're in a hurry, you can just buy a child theme and that resolve that. But learning how to actually use Divi to build these type of websites is actually a learning curve, and you would find that although the first website may take you longer to design, the skills that you would have learned to design that website would be really, really good. So it's also like securing yourself for the future, because once you know where everything is in Divi, you can always apply that to any type of website. So I would say if you're in a hurry, yes, just buy a child theme and use it. But if you want to build your own website, I would say start from scratch, build that website yourself, so you don't really have to buy a child theme in that situation. I hope I've answered that question. So just let me know in the comments box. I'm just going through the question again to see if I've missed anything. Okay. Okay. I've also come across this issue of updates with child themes. Now, when you design a brand new website, it's recommended that you use a child theme. But let me go through a few things really which are very, very important. Now, if you customize your theme, and I'm talking about the PHP files, right? So let's say you want to have a customized sidebar and you go into the page.php or the single.php to do those changes. What happens is, if you don't use a child theme in that case, what happens is when Divi updates, you would lose all those changes because it overrides those files. But if you have a child theme in place, then those files are actually, safe. So here's the thing. If you're using just basic CSS to customize your website, you don't need a child theme, okay? You don't need a child theme. But if you're customizing your websites using the PHP files, then in that case, you are going to need a child theme, okay? I hope that that clarifies it, because I was a bit confused as well right in the beginning, and then I had to speak to developers. And they advised me that if you're just doing basic CSS updates or CSS customizations to your website, that is not affected, because this is a CSS file which can be found on the theme customizer, or you can go into theme customizer and additional CSS. So that file is safe from any updates. But if you're updating the function.php, the single.php files that come with the theme, then those will be overwritten when you update Divi. I hope that makes sense. Right, let's take a look. We have more questions here. Okay. Okay, so we have I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Is it Michelle or... sorry if I got that wrong. But the question is, can you give any suggestions about how to manage website security aspects with WordPress and Divi? Right. Okay. So again, this question is really relevant and it's a very good question. Now, when it comes to security, websites do get hacked. And I was shocked myself because I used to design websites thinking, oh, it will never happen to me. But what you'll find is these websites can be hacked using bots. Okay. Now, the first area that you need to make sure is strong is making sure that your WordPress username is not set as admin. Okay, call it something else. So that's the first thing. And there are now, if you've already done that and you've set up your website with admin as the username, there are ways to change it. There's a plugin that can change that, but make sure that it's not set as admin. Because the bots out there, they use admin as a starting point. The second thing is make sure you use a long, complicated password. Don't use a password that can be guessed or that can be found out easily. Because again, these hackers, they're using tools to guess passwords. So, and it's an automated process. So the more you have a password that has all these complicated numbers and letters and all of that, then it works better. Now, personally, I use a tool called 1Password. So this is where all my passwords are stored in one place. So I don't need to memorize that password and know what it is. When I go to that website, I just go to 1Password. It fills in the blocks and then that's it. I'm in. Okay, so that's the first thing. Make sure that your username is set other than admin and your password is very, very strong. The third thing is there's a plugin called Limit Logins, right? This is very, very important. In fact, you need to search for it. If you, or what I'll do is I'll add it to my show notes. It's called Limit. In fact, let me write it down before I forget. Okay, it's called Limit Logins. So what it does is it gives you 3 chances. All right, if you try the password first time, you get it wrong, that's number 1. 2, and then after the third one, it locks you out. So you can imagine if these hackers are trying to hack into your website and they because they try several times, you see, with these automated tools. So after the third, it locks you out. So that's a very, very good line of security, okay? And then there's also, finally, there's a plugin called WordFence. Okay, again, I'll write it down and then I will link it in the show notes below. WordFence. Now, WordFence is very, very important. It alerts you when someone tries to log into your website. You can see the logs and it's a very, very good plugin. So I really recommend that you use these two, Limit Logins and WordFence. Once you get that right, you're in a very good place. Now, finally, and this is the most important one, make sure that all your plugins are updated. All your plugins, your themes, and WordPress itself is updated, because this is how hackers get into your website as well. So that's another way that they could come in. So regularly check your website and make sure that all your plugins and themes are all updated. So that's pretty much what I can think about. Once all these things are in place, you're safe. Right. So I hope I've answered that. And it's very clear. Okay, Jonathan says, nice to know. I just changed the PHP file today. Okay, cool. Right. Jonathan also says, I have a question and I've been on the verge of purchasing your course in the last couple of weeks. Can you explain that InMotion deal with your course, and how does InMotion compare to HostGator? Right. I'm glad you've asked this question, because I've actually used HostGator. Now, HostGator is terrible, right? I mean, I had accounts with them. The support is pretty much not very good. And this is through my personal experience. I mean, others may have different outcomes. I don't know, but their service is not anywhere close to InMotion, because the HostGator, the Bluehost, they're sort of like the first tier hosting companies. And then you have the second level, which is the InMotions, the SiteGround. And then above that, you have, what's this company called? Flywheel. So those are the levels. So InMotion is in the middle, right? It's not too, it's not like with Get Flywheel, and it's not also right there below. So when you're getting started or you want to run a business, by using InMotion, you're actually making a right choice, because don't go for just the how cheap it is. The main thing is the support, because what's the point of getting support for, say, £2 hosting per month, and when something goes wrong with your website, you don't get any help? So that's the way I'm looking at it, okay? And the deal that I'm promoting as well with InMotion is, if you purchase InMotion hosting through my affiliate link, which is in the show notes, I'll give you access to my courses. It's as simple as that. So all you have to do once after you've signed up for the hosting account, just let me know your reference number or your receipt number, and then I'll give you access to the DIVI Blueprint 3 course, and also the WordPress user mastery. So these two courses are fundamental in pretty much getting started with web design. And also what you get with the DIVI Blueprint, I'm not just talking about the tools in DIVI. We're actually building a 5-page website. So that's the advantage. So I'm not just talking about the tools. I'm also showing you how to build these pages. So this course is ideal if you are getting started, and also if you're serious about building websites with DIVI. Okay, I hope I answered that. Right, Jonathan also asks caching plugins. I use W3 Total, I think, Total Cache, or WP Super Cache. Now, I haven't tested these two to see which one is better than the other, but either, I think the Total W3 Total Cache, that one is better. In fact, let me check if I'm getting the name right. I'm just going to search for it. Yes, it's W3 Total Cache. So that's the plugin that I use, and it's really, really good. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. I have a question here from, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this correctly. Griots, I think. And she says, have you already answered the question about events? I'm not sure if I saw your question. What is the question about the events? If you can just type it again in here, I'll be able to answer that, please. Marcelo, so do Brazil. I'm not sure what that means. So I hope it's something, you know, positive, obviously. So cool. And Jonathan says, that's awesome. Thank you for your response. All right. Thanks, Jonathan, for asking the questions, because I'm sure quite a few of the users that have logged in can also benefit from these type of questions. So thank you for asking the question. Okay, so right now we don't have any more questions. Yeah, so if you have any questions, you can just drop them in here. Let me see if there's anything else I can cover on getting started in web design. Right, in fact, to make this video short and have enough time for another topic, I would say this, I can just round up and say this is pretty much how to get started in web design. In the future, I may also talk about how to get started as a freelance designer and talk about the tools, how you market your services, and how to get yourself out there known in the community. Okay, the question here is, how you handle live event listings. Now there's a plugin that you can use to handle your event listings. I can't remember on top of my head which one it is, but I've used a similar. I've used this on a similar website before. But there is a plugin. What I'll do is when I finish this broadcast, I will update it in the show notes below. Okay, so wow, the questions are coming in now. We have Barry Simpson saying, what is the name of the admin name changer plugin you mentioned earlier? Okay, again, I can't remember on top of my head, but I will make a note of it and leave it in the show notes. Okay, so I will link that in the show notes. So here we have HLE Computer Consulting. What do you use to manage your websites? I'm not really sure what you mean. Which side of the management you mean? Do you mean the updates themselves, or I'm not sure. Can you expand on that, please? HLE Computer Consulting. We have Tech Fitness Beauty saying hi. Hello and welcome to the live broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. And also Sebastian says, hi bro. Hi Sebastian. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right. Piotr says, what is the purpose of a boxed layout in Divi? Okay, so a box layout in Divi, pretty much it's a design style. So what you'll find is a lot of websites today, they normally have this full width design. But if you want to change things a bit, you can just use the box layout. But it doesn't really have specific benefits per se. It's a design tool. So it's just a way of showing your website in a different way. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay. Oh yeah. Thanks, HLE Computer Consulting. You managed to expand on your question. Okay. So the question is, do you use a tool like Manage WP or something along those lines? Okay. Now, the simple answer is no. I don't use any of that. I prefer to manage my websites the old school way. I go into each and every one of them just to check if everything is okay. I know that is not the most efficient way, because I could actually use multi-sites, which works much better. But I haven't really gone into that because there's a bit of a learning curve, and I haven't really had time to look into that. So at the moment, I don't use any tools to manage my website. So, what sort of tutorials would you guys and girls want to see me create? I think that will be also important because sometimes I run out of ideas. So if you let me know sort of what sort of tutorials that you want me to create, that will be great. And I can list them down and also start creating those. So do let me know in the comments box which sort of tutorials you want me to create. That will be really cool. All right, so I think we can round up our live show today. So for those who are just joining us or watching the rebroadcast, this was pretty much a live broadcast on how to get started in web design. Okay, I think we've got a few more questions coming in. We've got Matt saying images in vertical menus, tutorial please. Okay, that'll be great. Let me make a note of that. Images in vertical menus. Okay. We have Lee Henderson saying, I would like to see more extra tutorials. Okay, cool. More extra tutorials. Okay. Right, we have a question from Jonathan. How can you get a full width header video to play on mobile? Right, now the simple answer to that is videos do not play on mobile, on the header videos. I'm sure you're referring to the background videos. If not, can you just quickly make a note of that in the show notes? I mean, in the comments. So if you're talking about the background videos on the header area, those only work on desktops. As soon as the view goes to mobile, okay, yes. So I'm actually responding to the right question. Excellent. So these video backgrounds only work on desktops. Okay. When it comes to mobile devices, ideally what you want to do is to have an image that replaces that, because the videos don't actually work on mobile devices. But this may be a future update, and I'm hoping that'll be great as well to see these videos work on mobile devices. So at the moment, it can't be done. So what I've done as a workaround is when someone is viewing my website on a mobile device, they will see a picture as a replacement for that. Okay? Great. So are there any more tutorial suggestions? Okay, if not, we're going to wrap this up. So thanks a lot for tuning in. I really appreciate you taking your time out on a Saturday to tune into this live broadcast. It gives me more strength to create more and more of these, because web design is a passion of mine, and obviously if I'm speaking to an audience, it makes it even more exciting because there's interaction, and also I know that people are watching the videos that I'm creating, so my efforts are appreciated. So that's really cool. And I can see there's some questions coming here. There's Chaos asking, are responsive buttons possible with Division? I think you want to say Divi, but if that's the case, yes, responsive buttons are possible. In fact, they are responsive by default. So as soon as you create a button and a big button, if it goes to a smaller device, yes, it's responsive. Okay. Piotr says, keep up the great work, pal. Thank you very much. I'm really excited that you guys enjoy these tutorials. So thank you very much. Without you guys, I mean, I wouldn't be able to create all these tutorials. I'll probably have given up. So you are actually making my job easier by showing me your responses. So thank you very much. Now, if you all haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please go ahead and do so, and make sure you click the bell icon, the bell notification icon. By doing that, you'll be notified, because for some reason, when I create a video, not everyone gets notified when my video goes out. So make sure you click the bell notification on the YouTube channel. Jonathan says, keep killing it. Thanks a bunch. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Chris K says, I wish I caught this from the beginning. Yes, it's too late now, Chris, but you can always watch the replay. Right. So, yeah, and as I was mentioning, Chris, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure you click the bell icon notification. By clicking that bell icon, you'll be notified when I go live. Okay, so I know I keep saying I have to go, but that's just me really enjoying the live show. But thank you very much once again for tuning in. I really appreciate you taking your time out to watch this live broadcast. So we will be having more of these, because now already I can see that you guys found it interesting based on your feedback. So thank you very much. All right, so take care.